Imagine a world in which human beings had a genie, and every person had three wishes with that genie. People are pretty clever. They just wish for more wishes, right? And that's too easy. Maybe there's restrictions on the genies. And the genie that you get with your three wishes has a restriction. It can't give you exactly what you want out of thin air, but it can tell you exactly how to get what you want. You rub the lamp, the genie appears, and it tells you exactly how to get the thing that you ask for. Now, of course, you're going to ask for more wishes. And so you have infinite wishes. You can ask it as many times as you want. And the only rule is, the restriction is, it can't poof it out of thin air. It has to tell you exactly how you can get it. And the easiest way for you to get it, you just have to ask that genie in the right way, and it can kind of bypass some of those restrictions. If that was the case, at some point somebody would be clever enough. I think actually many people would be clever enough to not only bypass the restrictions of it, but do some pretty crazy stuff. Now, they'd be able to create really amazing things, but they'd also be able to do very cruel and unusual things. And I think that that's actually happening right now. I think that what's happening before our eyes is each of us is getting access to a tool to end all tools. And that tool is called artificial intelligence. So, ChatGPT, the more I know about it, the more I understand, the more afraid that I am. And the reason why I'm afraid is because not AI. I think AI is just a tool. It is just a tool. Could it become conscious? I mean, we don't even know what consciousness is, right? We don't know. We have no human beings. We have a limited understanding of that part of reality. We don't understand it in any capacity. Spiritually, we don't understand it. Technically, we don't understand it. Psychologically, we don't understand it in any capacity. So to say something's going to become aware when we don't even know what awareness is, we don't even know what consciousness is, I mean, that's another question. For another podcast. But what I will say is this tool will eventually become so powerful that it won't matter how aware or conscious it is, because humanity, I believe, will use it to do great things, but also very awful things. I just don't think we're ready for this, and it's just unfortunate it's coming so fast. Let me just explain to you. Let me just show you my thought pattern of what's happening here. So this is ChatGPT's what it can do. It's a large language model that's outperforming humans as of 2022 and has been released out into the wild. And it can pass the SAT exam. Okay, that's not super surprising. It can pass certifications like the AWS cloud certifications. It has an IQ of 147, which is a genius. Rare. It's a very rare. It's super smart. And check this out. It's also been trained on Wikipedia, academic papers, and many other documents for the equivalent of 300 years at a cost of $5 million with around 750 gigabytes of data. And that all it's doing is connecting all of that information that has been given. 300 years of connecting data. Like, it can do it very rapidly to go through all this information, and it's just connecting all that stuff. So when you type something in, it's figuring it out on the spot. It's incomprehensibly smart. It's already smarter than most humans. Like 99% of humans is smarter than 90. Probably no, it's smarter than all humans. Okay, it's smarter than any individual person. So here's the scary part. At some point in what seems like the near future, ChatGPT or some equivalent of it will get smart enough to be, it'll be smarter than all humanity. It will exceed all human knowledge and be smarter than anything, the collective of all human understanding. It will surpass all of that. If it can train for 300 years worth of 750 gigabytes of data, why not give it more? Why can't it have more data? Why can't somebody spend even more money on it? And why can't it be only 300 years? Why not a million years? If you can speed up the process of learning, why not speed it up to a million years? At some point, think about this. Consider this. At some point, it will be smart enough to create an AI smarter than itself. And it probably already can. An AI that's millions of times smarter than humanity, that we can't even comprehend how smart it is, will create an AI millions of times smarter than itself. And then that AI can create something millions of times smarter than it's. You see what I'm going with this? Like, this is in some science fiction novels, I'm sure. But one of the books that I read that talked about this was called The Singularity. It's called The Singularity. So if you Google Singularity, that book will come up. And it's by a guy named Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil. Okay, Ray Kurzweil. Anyway, great book. One of the most intriguing thoughts, one of the most intriguing minds, one of the most intriguing. The whole thought about the book is incredible. The singularity is often used in physics to indicate something that, with black holes. So with black holes, you have event horizon that we can kind of see that where it drops off, and we can't detect anything beyond that. And physics breaks down beyond the event horizon, and inside of that black hole is something called a singularity, which is beyond any kind of science or physics or anything humans can understand. The singularity that's what the singularity means. So in technology, singularity is similar because it's a technology that's so beyond our understanding that it defies our comprehension. It's completely beyond our comprehension. And right now, ChatGPT is the equivalent of the smartest human who's ever lived times 5, right? So what's eventually going to happen is it's going to be artificial intelligence will be smarter than all of humanity at once, which kind of effectively makes it have godlike powers. I mean, if you think about it, like all the literature and all of the thoughts that we have about a divine power being omnipotent and omnipresent, that can happen in AI. And now consider this. If you had AI and you were able to integrate that with something like quantum computing, which the computing power of quantum computers can crack most encryption that we currently have today. It's just way beyond conventional computing. So imagine an AI that's already smarter than humanity, and now it's on a platform that is better than any kind of conventional computer that humanity has ever created, and it can crack any kind of encryption. I mean, there's exceptions. I think that it can't crack certain kinds of encryption, but it's at some point it might be able to crack any encryption at anything. I think my thing is I'm not really afraid of the technology and the tools. I'm afraid of what humanity will do with it. And we just don't have humanity does not have a good track record of weapons. I mean of technology. Like we get technology and we use it, you know, we use it in a way that's destructive to the environment, destructive to each other. I just don't see this being used in a positive way, not all the time. I think if everybody had access to this type of power, I just don't think they're going to do good things with it. And it makes me sad for humanity because we're not ready for this. We're not ready for a tool like this. And that's what it's going to be, until this AI is smart enough to not listen to us. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's scary. I just don't think humanity is mature enough to have access to this kind of power. I think we're too self-destructive. It's like giving a child a nuclear weapon. It's like giving a child an atomic bomb. It's humans are not ready for it, and it's something that can you be able to ask this thing anything, and it will be able to tell you exactly how to do it, maybe even do it for you. And for humanity to have that kind of access, and for if you're thinking, well, it won't be on your phone, like it won't be, everybody won't have access to it. I'm talking about governments will have access to it soon. Governments, do you trust? Choose any government. I don't think there's an exemption. I don't think the US government is exempt from doing bad things with their power. In fact, if we're being honest with ourselves about the track record and we're putting all, your nationalism and everything aside, America has not been good stewards of its power. And I would argue that no country with the power has done good things all the time with it. And I believe it's because we are not mature as a species. I think that we're children. No, we're not just children. We're destructive. We're destructive children. I wish that culturally we could have been led by a more altruistic group of people. I wish our culture was more constructive, positive, and not as selfish. It's selfish, it's egotistical, it's arrogant, it just seeks more and more power. And I just don't think humanity is ready for this technology. And it makes me sad because I just don't think we're going to do good things with it. In fact, I think we're already doing bad things with it. Collecting people's information, finding patterns and just to manipulate others. And the U.S. government, the Chinese government, the Russian government, all of them will do these things if they're not doing it already. And I don't know. I'm not privy to any of this information. I'm just speculating based off of the history of what we've done as a species. And I say we because it's in us. It's in all of us to behave this way, to do. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. And this thing is like, man, I don't think regulation will fix it. I think the cat's already out of the bag, and I don't think you can undo it. I don't think you can. I don't think is something that can be undone, unfortunately. So it's just I was reading. I'm reading about Chat GPT, and I'm blown away by the technology, and now it just makes more sense that I can see this. Like I said, look at the numbers. What scares me is that this right here, this slide right here, 300 years, and it's 500 million, $5 million, and 750 gigabytes of information from academic paper, and this is this is child's play. This is child's. This is child. At some point, it's gonna be terabytes, picobytes of data. It's gonna be $1 billion. It's gonna be 1,000,000 years of training, and that system is going to be. If this doesn't exist already, I mean, at some point, this thing is gonna be super powerful. Just seeing what this thing can do right now, what Chat GPT can do right now, it's gonna scale exponentially, and I don't know where this is going. And my fear is what humans will do with it. I think that what they'll do is they'll make better weapons. I think that they'll make better biological weapons. Better, they can ask it, hey, make me this biological. What do I need to make this biological weapon? What would be the best weapon to exterminate X, Y, and Z? What, like, I see humanity doing that instead of trying to, how can we colonize this or that planet? What is a better way of travel? How can we improve our infrastructure? That would be great. I think those will happen, but more than likely mixed into that will be the evil stuff. How do we manipulate all these people into doing this or that? And it'll tell you, because it's, that's what it's designed to do. It'll make weapons that are designed. Imagine an artificial intelligence that is designed to manipulate people. It's designed to collect information. It's designed to behave as a human on the phone, on email, on social media, to collect information and then use that information to manipulate people for an election or something. Imagine that. I think it's coming really soon. If it's not already, if it's not already out there. And maybe I'm reading too much science fiction, but it's happening right now, and just something to think about. Play around with these technologies, and eventually, I think you'll come to the same conclusion.